Welcome to today's practice. Coming in with the intention, the idea of arriving with our messiness, arriving incomplete, imperfect, just as we are, with no real attachment to the outcome, other than, I guess, just meeting yourself beneath that messiness. There's so much surrounding the idea of change, changing to be better, changing to be more acceptable or accepted in certain spaces. And sometimes it feels like there's no real space to just be, right? To just be yourself. Don't worry about what other people think or how you're being perceived. Hello. And here we are, arriving imperfectly with the video with our yoga practice. So join me. We'll start in a comfortable seat. And I hope you don't mind our special guest. This is Toby, the Chihuahua, who is 12 years old this year and still acts like a puppy. Don't you? So arriving in your comfortable seat, hands can rest wherever you like. Whatever brings some comfort, some softness. Maybe you close down the eyes. So again, through this practice, it's all about dipping into the what ifs. What if I just adjust this slightly? What if I try this version? What if I lean a bit more into depth? What if I lean a bit more into softness? So just arriving here. And start to welcome gentle awareness to the breath. It doesn't really need to change. Simply an observation. The breath flowing in. The breath flowing out. Expanding, contracting. And we start to maybe notice any niggles here, any areas of stickiness that might already be making themselves heard. So at the moment my back is really achy. I think it's just from going back to teaching after having a bit of time off over the holidays. So my awareness is fully through my back body. I'm just noticing where it is for you, if anywhere. I'm just welcoming a few more breaths into those spaces of stickiness, of tightness. One last inhale. Maybe an audible exhale. Just settling into everything. And we're going to keep everything quite floor-based today, quite centered. So from where we are, I'm ever so sorry, Toby, I'm going to have to move you. Why don't you go up here? There we go, stay there. From where we are, I'm just going to bring some awareness into the upper body, the neck, the shoulders. So from here, you can keep the eyes closed. And we're just going to take some circles here through the neck. Slow, steady circles. So sometimes that need to rush creeps in from other aspects of our lives. We push through our days, we strive to do more at work, more with family. Use this as your time of slowness, time of reconnection. And gently reversing that circle, shifting the other way around. Choosing your depth. Doesn't need to be a really big circle. Maybe you need softer, smaller. Find one last circle here. And then from this position, movement shifting down through the body. So hands can rest on the knees if they're not there already, finding circles through the shoulders. Again, noticing any stickiness. Maybe you start to sync the breath with the movement. One last circle here. And then circles continuing this time through the torso. So start to shift your body round to one side. Bring the chest forward. Over to the other side and then rounding through the spine. Again, make these circles as big or as small as you would like. And then the next time you shift backwards, moving the other way around. You can inhale as you open through the chest and exhale as the spine rounds towards the back of your mat. Taking one last circle here. And then gently arriving back to center. And again, we're going to keep ourselves grounded here in our seated position, moving any teeny pets. You sit there. Keeping your left leg tucked in, and extending the right leg out to the side. And it doesn't need to be wide. Finding a soft diagonal if you prefer. And then from where we are, inhale to reach the arms up. As you exhale, cactus the arms out to either side. We're going to welcome eagle arms here. So we're going to take the left arm underneath the right. Maybe bring opposite hand to shoulders today. This can be an option. Wrapping yourself in a nice big hug. Or you can bring the back of the hands together. Or you can weave the right fingertips into the left palm. Once you've found your position, gentle inhale to lift the elbows ever so slightly. Start to feel into that space through the upper back and the shoulders. We breathe for a few moments here. And then some movement will come in. So inhale, once again, find length. Then as you exhale, rounding yourself forwards, fingertips towards the earth. Maybe they touch, maybe they don't. Inhale, scoop the hands back up. Exhale, rounding forwards. Inhale, scoop the fingertips up. Exhale, rounding forwards, this time holding. So again, maybe you hold in space. Or maybe you rest the hands down on the ground, tucking the chin, breathing into the upper back. Maybe that breath moves into the back of the ribs as well. Gentle curiosity here. So again, noticing if your body is asking for you to move deeper with no pain, no discomfort. But maybe it just wants to meet that edge. Or maybe your body is asking for a softer approach, a more delicate approach. Taking 2 more breaths where you are. With your next breath, lifting all the way back up. Unravel the arms. Inhale, big full stretch. And as we exhale, we're going to take a shift through the hips. So our hips are going to face the right leg. If we kept the leg through the arms, you can remain there. If not, bring the arms back up. And as you exhale, hinging forwards. So draping ourselves over the leg. The leg does not need to be straight here. We can find a gentle bend, a gentle softness. Hands can frame the knee. Maybe we reach further forwards if it's in reach. You can take hold of the foot. And we're going to spend a little bit of time here in our stillness. Welcoming space into the hamstring, the calf muscle, but also you might be feeling into the lower back on the left side.
maybe the side body. Breath can filter into all of these places. Using the breath as a gentle guidance of expansion and softness. I apologise for the sniffs and tapping that my dog is creating. But it runs with the theme of the practice arriving messily. A less curated feed, right? Which is kind of my aim for this year, is to show up with less of an urge to be perfect. We see quite a lot on all platforms, I think. Let's take 2 more breaths in our hold. As you come into your next exhale, gently rolling up through the spine. Stacking the vertebrae here. And then bringing the right leg into center. We can shuffle ourselves around here. Or not, so you can just stay as you are. And once we have found our positioning, we're going to take it to the other side. So nothing fancy, just extending the left leg away. Right foot can tuck in. Inhale to reach the arms up. Exhale to cactus the arms out to either side. And from here we are going to take the right arm underneath the left. Finding your version here, so opposite hands to shoulders, maybe back of arms together, fingertips into palms. Doesn't need to be the same as the previous side. Sometimes our shoulders hold a bit more tension on one side compared to the other. Maybe it's through the arms. Have that awareness. And gentle inhale to lift up a little higher. Gentle exhale, you can fold forwards here. Inhale to lift. Exhale, elbows draw down, fingertips draw down. One last time here. Inhale to lift. Exhale, guide yourself down, this time holding, whether it's holding in space or fingertips resting on the ground, maybe fingertips resting on a prop. And then with your next inhale, lifting up slowly. Unravel the arms, big full stretch. You might keep the arms lifted as you take your soft pivot to face the left leg, or arms can come down. Once you arrive here, find that reach once again. And then exhale, hinging forwards. Keeping the spine long to start with, knee can be soft. You start to drape forwards over the leg. Maybe hands are framing the knee, maybe they shift further down, holding onto the foot. And that internal observation of where we're feeling into this side. So again, yes, through the back of the leg, hamstring, calf muscle. Maybe there's also a little bit through the lower back, the side body, shoulders. And as it's a slower practice today, the mind may become busy, cluttered. Let go of any frustration that surrounds that. The thoughts creep in, that's just what they do. We can return to the breath. We can notice that we are thinking actively. See what it will take to come back to this present moment. So again, the breath, the sensation, maybe marrying the two together. Breathing into the edges of sensation. Let's take one more breath here. And then with your next exhale, rolling up slowly, stacking the spine. Once you've arrived, drawing the legs together but guiding yourself into tabletop. So no fancy transition here, just shifting. Once again, movement for the spine. Let's welcome our cat-cow. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the island. Exhale, rounding through. Just taking a few more rounds at your own pace. Maybe you take some free movement here. You can bump the hips left to right. Find circles through the body, barrel rolls. Let your body guide you rather than the mind. Taking 2 more rounds of breath, 2 more rounds of movement. Arriving back to center, to stillness. And from here, extending the right leg behind you, curl the toes under. And a simple shift here. We're going to keep the right leg extended behind, slide the left knee forwards towards the top of your mat. So, two opposite forces almost. Tucking the left heel beneath you, the left knee pointing directly forwards. So welcoming a stretch here through the front of the left thigh. Also might be experiencing a stretch through the right hip flexor. Option to stay lifted on the arms, the hands, or option to guide yourself further to the ground. Whichever version you have, you might want to just shift side to side, ever so slightly. Noticing what exists here for you. And then from here, planting down through the left hand, lifting yourself up if you're in a deeper fold. Inhale, reaching the right fingertips up to the sky, finding a little balance, little activation through our center. And then as you come into your exhale, thread the right arm through and underneath the left. So welcoming a thread the needle variation. Landing as close to the ground as you can, but remember you can always bring props in, whether it's blocks, whether it's cushions. If the ground feels far away from the head or you need that support, you can bring anything you like beneath the ear. With your next inhale, pressing up, unraveling from that position. Curl the back toes under, so the right toes under. Lift the right knee and step to downward facing dog. Maybe you start to pedal out through the feet here, swaying the hips a little. Maybe you stay in stillness. Taking one more breath in. And as you breathe out, returning to tabletop. Extending the left leg behind, curl the toes beneath. And again, two opposing forces almost. We're going to slide that right knee towards the top of the mat. Extend the left leg back as much as you can. Tucking that right heel beneath us. You might stay lifted. This might be good for you today. You can of course explore lowering yourself further to the ground. Before we take any other position here, we land in our stillness, or you can find that movement wiggling side to side a little, noticing what that opens up for you. Now if you are lower into your fold, guiding yourself up onto the hands. Inhale, peel the left fingertips up to the sky. Core engagement. Welcome that internal support. And as you exhale, left arm coming through and underneath the right. So you might land all the way down on the ground. Or you might bring in cushions, blocks, anything to support you here. And awareness shifting through the entire body. Shoulder, upper back, legs, but in different areas. And with your next inhale, unraveling the arms. Curl the back toes, lift the back knees, step to downward facing dog. Nice release here. Just checking in with the feet. If they're very close together, nudge them a little wider. Shoulder width distance, or maybe towards the edges of your mat. And then walking the hands back to meet the feet. Soften the knees here. Standing forward fold. And then welcoming opposite hand to elbow. A little more weight through the upper back. Maybe you find a soft sway side to side. You can also, by movement through the neck, maybe nod the head up and down or gently take it left to right. Soft knees, tummy to thighs. Welcome weight. And then releasing the hands down. Planting through the left hand. Inhale, reach the right fingertips up. Exhale, lower the right hand down. Inhale, left fingertips reach up. One more each way. You can soften the knees as well as you move. Inhale, fingertips reach up. Exhale, they lower down. Last time to the left. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lower. Inhale, halfway lift. Full version. Exhale, hands come down to the earth, walking them back out. We arrive in tabletop, so lowering the knees down. Bringing the big toes together, knees out wide, extended child's pose. And then gently drawing the hands together, bending the elbows, bringing the hands over the back of the head in prayer position. Your shark fin pose. Maybe you nudge the elbows a little further forwards to deepen the experience. Or again, we check in, right? We maybe bring them a little closer towards us to soften. Taking 2 more breaths in your hold. And then with your next inhale, rolling up slowly, slide the hands in towards you, coming to sit on the heels. Crown of the head reaches up. Palms can land on the thighs. And if this is uncomfortable, returning to a seated position on the mat. And all we're going to do is repeat the same movements we had at the beginning of our practice. Closing down the eyes, you can start to welcome slow circles into the neck. Hands can continue resting on the thighs, or you might explore what happens when you release the arms down by your sides. Welcomes a little more weight, welcomes a little more space between the shoulders and the ears to deepen the experience. Next time the chin draws down to the chest, reverse your circle. Finding your breath, if you lost it along the way, so keeping that connection, continuous connection. One last circle. Returning to center. And then rolling through the shoulders. Hands can be on the thighs or by your sides. One last roll of the shoulders. And again, we find the circles through the torso. So start to shift your body to one side. Chest comes forwards, throat opens a little as well. Shift to the other side, and then really rounding back. Again, you can inhale as the heart opens to the top of the mat, and then exhale as you round. You might find in this position, seated on the heels, that you can move a little deeper. When you're ready to, reverse your circle, shifting the other way around. Let go of the need to be linear or rigid. Body guiding you. One final circle. Arriving back to stillness. And from here, if you're not already, shifting yourself into your seated position. If you want to, you can give the ankles a little bit of a wiggle here before you arrive in your seat. And then, comfortable seat as we have. Let's take a nice big inhale here, reach the arms up. As we exhale, twisting to the left. So right hand to left knee, left fingertips can come just behind you. Maybe the eye line shifts over the back shoulder as well. Sometimes I like to imagine twists like wringing out a tea towel. So wringing out excess, unwanted stuff. So maybe picturing anything here that you want to just loosen your hold over. Breathe into it. And as you exhale and unravel back to center, you softly let go. We'll take it to the other side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twisting to the right. Find a little length through the spine, a softness through the fingers. And again, picturing anything you wish to loosen your hold over, to ease your grip over. And breathe into it. And as you breathe out, as you unravel, you let go. Finding stillness here, hands resting in the lap, palms can be shining upward. And as much as we have been welcoming ourselves as we are, in our messiness, in our imperfectness, which I don't think is a word, just noticing what you might have created around that today. And just some simple movement, some simple postures. Where have you landed within yourself? What have you opened yourself up to? Maybe it's just the notion that you can arrive incomplete. You can take one more breath in here. And a big breath out. We'll close our practice. You can stay as you are, or you can follow me. You can take a nice big inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Palms can meet gently. Exhale, hands in front of the heart space. One more just like that, deep inhale. Palms meet. And exhale to land exactly as you are. Thank you so much for being here today. It's always a pleasure to have you. I will be back again very soon with more yummy flows to help you navigate a slower season, a colder season, a darker season. You can find me on Instagram as well if you want to keep up with my journey and how things are going, see more of my dog. And if not, I'll be back here again very soon. Namaste.